GOP congressman says marijuana rescheduling and banking reform would prop up an immoral industry. And believe it or not, it's a GOP congressman who represents California is condemning the Biden administration's push to reschedule marijuana as well as legislative efforts to enact bipartisan cannabis banking reform, because he says the policy changes would prop up this immoral industry and give a green light to the evil that comes from drug use. In a brief speech on the House floor on Monday, Rep. Doug Lamitte, Republican from California, took aim at 2 incremental cannabis reform proposals while also claiming that marijuana use is linked to increased dependency on welfare benefits. The Justice Department's proposed rule to move cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 of the Controlled Substances Act represents a step towards legalizing marijuana by attempting to reclassify it as a lower category drug, the congressman said, adding that he considers the administrative rulemaking process means of going around Congress. If enacted, this would increase the use of an already dangerous substance, Lamitte argued, while rescheduling would allow licensed cannabis businesses to take federal tax deductions. They're barred from under the IRS code known as 280E and also remove certain research barriers. It would not legalize the plant, so it's unclear what he means by suggesting it would increase usage rates. He also claimed, contrary to prior research, that California has the highest rate of marijuana users. If he meant number of consumers, that might be explained by the fact that the state is the greatest population in the nation by far. But in terms of rates of consumption, surveys have consistently found higher percentages of usage in other states. In any case, he said it's no surprise that California also has the highest rate of welfare recipients, which is also not true on a per capita basis. That title belongs to New Mexico, followed by Louisiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Oregon, if assessing based on federal SNAP benefit distribution. I believe the government should disincentivize the use of this harmful drug and not allow banks to prop up this immoral industry. The congressman went on to say, noting efforts in Congress to pass legislation that would protect financial institutions that service state licensed cannabis businesses. He's referring to the Safe Banking Act. The federal government should have no role in encouraging citizens to break federal law by incentivizing banks to handle the money in these industries, he said. These measures give a green light to the evil that comes from drug use. The addicts will rely on state welfare, disability payments for unemployment. Their medical problems will increase, drain out our already strained healthcare system, which taxpayers, are going to front the bill for that. Lamitte, who made headlines in 2021 after he posted an iconic video of himself bulldozing illegal grows alongside law enforcement in California, concluded by saying, let's not be doing any more to legalize marijuana or pretend that it's legal through financial institutions. The congressman has also sponsored legislation to combat the use of banned pesticides at illegal marijuana grow states in states that have enacted legalization. So that is the story. I was happy to read this one because I wanted to hear what our Republican friends here on the panel think about their boy out here, and also with us, a lot of us Californians, is what are our thoughts on this? I mean, of course, we're going to have opposition with the wave of change that's trying to roll, but yeah, this is Elise Mc Roberts reporting for High at 9 News. I'm going to give the floor back to all the rock stars on the panel.
Oh, man. Well,
yeah, it's your boy, Jason.
That's
your
right.
Boy.
It's Doug Lamitte. Yep, out of Northern California. He's been a congressman there for many, many years. And probably the best thing that I can say about Doug Lamitte is that he is consistent, at least with his position. He's always held it this way, so I've always known exactly where he stands on the issue. He doesn't want to pivot at all. He doesn't want to evolve at all. But he does love to grandstand, as you pointed out, Elise, in the most recent story that we covered involving this prohibitionist member of Congress, him bulldozing over an illegal grow that was raided by sheriffs and narcotics agents or whatnot. That I think he was trying to tie to illegal Chinese, but it was actually some Hmongs that had the grow or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was something along those lines. I remember there was.
It was in Siskiyou County. Yeah, it's the Hmong people, and in fact, I think that God, I'm glad you brought that one up because they've actually enacted some laws there that are just absolutely racist and go against those people. It's like they don't deliver water and allow water to be delivered on streets that are occupied by people who are Like, it's pretty gross. I'm actually going to go up there and teach a pesticide class because a lot of those people are good people and they're trying to learn the right ways to do things. They've made it a felony to use, chemicals improperly, which is cool. I'm going to go teach how to use them the right way. Like, contrary to popular belief, not all Republicans think the exact same way, and I can vehemently disagree with this gentleman. I think that it's irrational and unreasonable and draconian thinking. So I think that immorality that he's referring to is with the illicit market, and that's because he's not able to benefit because it's not able to be taxed. So
how about we talk about the immorality of him using government funds, our tax dollars, for a fucking bulldozer, and all this grandstanding that he's doing is doing absolutely nothing. And like you said,
100%.
Hold on, we don't dog whistles.
We don't know that
with no backing behind that.
We do not know that tax dollars were used for the purpose of that bulldozer. I don't think that was tax dollars that were used for the purpose of that.
One of the things we do know about this guy, and typically GOP is the party of law and order until it applies to them, and this guy's a great talking point and example of that. He's totally into law and order when it comes to people of the non-white race making money in a way that he doesn't approve of. However, he illegally and unethically subdivided his own rice farm parcels into over 6 parcels, get over $200,000 to several of his own family members. He's gaming the system like a welfare mommy, the people that he complains about. Guy is so corrupt and unethical that when his fellow Republican primary runners in the primary election lost, they all lockstep endorsed the Democrat, said that this man would be the worst choice to represent the people of his area. And I can't even go into, we don't have enough time in this show for me to recount all of the dastardly, maybe not illegal, but at least unethical and immoral deeds that this man has been guilty of. And he loves on the con.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, in the essence of time, Dr. Mark, did you have any thoughts on this, or Elise, any final words?
No, he sounds like reefer madness. I mean, the evil, the welfare. I mean, all his language was just like cringe.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just kind of surprised in an area like California District 1, where cannabis cultivation is part of the legacy and is so important to the economy. How does a prohibitionist get elected?
Well, his district is actually north of where the Emerald Triangle and all that. It doesn't encompass the Emerald Triangle. Yeah, it's northeast. So,
but also what we have here, and we're dealing with the same thing, Dr. Mark. We're dealing with the same thing in Mendo and Humboldt and Sonoma. Folks who came in here in the 1800s and murdered, raped, and enslaved their way to property ownership, are now the orthodox, legitimate, respectable business people and landowners. And we've been dealing with the same thing in all of these counties, wherein these people who literally were the most criminally are descendants of the most criminally psychopathic people on this continent are now the folks who are writing policy and deciding what is good and what is bad for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the most incredible cannabis I've ever tasted comes from the town of Weed, California, which I believe.
Shout out to Weed, California. Yes.
Right in the middle of District 1. And I don't know if you remember, but those of us who were old enough to actually get phone bills, when I used to call my plug, I would have a call on my long distance to Weed, California.
Oh, yeah. They all knew what you were doing, Dr. Mark.
How cool is that? But all along that Northern California border with Oregon is very fluid. The cannabis trade is very fluid. In fact, you have to drive into California to get to some places in Oregon, like Williams. So it's so remote up there, and there's a lot of trade that goes back and forth. So I don't know. This is the district that this guy's got. So I'm just surprised that he's there.
Yeah, he's probably he embodies the whole Arthur meme, like shaking his fist.
All right. Well, since we're on the topic of